him a big sense. As you all know, sometimes sense isn't always so common. I am in a new location. I am now in Humboldt, which is right outside of Jackson, Tennessee. Wonderful town. Everyone is very friendly. And the place that we're hanging out at today is called the Coffee Shop. So as you can see by their logos, they allowed us to be able to come in and do a little bit of recording so we can bring you all some great information. So before I go any further, let me start off by saying be sure and like and subscribe. As you all know, it's the only way that I'm able to grow. So let's get into it. I have a wonderful person that I'm introducing to you guys today. She's a very good friend of mine. She is a makeup artist, well known in our location. She has touched the faces of so many great people, and I cannot wait until we get into the story. Her name is Miss Sheena.
Hello, hello. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so happy that you allowed me to be able to record you. Take some time out of your day. We're going to put a little bit of spin on it this time. Not only is she going to tell us a little bit about her experience of being a makeup artist, she's also going to tell us a little bit about when you get to the point where you just want to pull back. A lot of people don't realize that being in a business, sometimes you begin to question yourself if you're doing the right thing or if you're doing something that you was actually called to do. And it will cause you to pull back and sometimes even doubt ourselves. A lot of times that's when fear come in to overtake us, to make us challenge ourselves, or we're being tested. Even when we know that we made the right decision, sometimes you can be tested. So Ms. Sheena Palmer is going to tell us all about her story. As she knows just like everybody else, she's going to be able to kind of give us a hand on everything. So if you're going through this, do not be in despair. You can come right out of it and shine like a diamond. So, Ms. Sheena.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about your makeup and what inspired you to get involved in makeup.
Well, with the makeup, I've been doing makeup since 2012.
Mm-hmm.
What inspired me to get into it was to empower women, showing them a way that they could look like your celebrities on TV. My mindset was to treat your everyday people as special as God intended them to be.
Right. You know what? It's so many women do not realize how beautiful they are. I mean, without the makeup, but just applying the makeup. Oh my gosh. You can look like a supermodel, like you're doing runway right in your home.
You really can.
And every now and then, I think women need to do that because it inspires you to do so much more.
Because women are so focused on helping everyone else. You're helping your children, you're helping your husband, you're helping your employer.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, nothing is left for yourself. And I know that being a mother and, going through what I've gone through. But if I can have a hand in showing a woman what she could be, what she could look like, even for a day,
right?
I feel like that's me planting a seed into making her a better person.
Yeah. You know what? I remember when me and you had a conversation and you was telling me about someone whose makeup that you did for her. Mm-hmm. And you were telling me about a time where this woman really did not feel worthy of herself, and she cried after you did the makeup. Can you tell everybody about that?
Yeah, I have several clients that have moments where they were down and they clearly do not look like what they've been through. Mm-hmm. They have a smile on their face. And it's not even just the one particular client, it's different clients that I've had that when they see themselves, once I'm done, it's not overly done, it is just simply their natural beauty shining. Mm-hmm. When they see themselves, it's a moment. It's a moment that they're saying, wow, I'm worthy. Mm-hmm. Wow, I'm beautiful.
Right.
And then I can tackle this day. I can kill this photo shoot. I can be the most beautiful bride. I can look like, your Beyonce and Gabrielle Union.
Yeah.
And still be here.
Right.
Locally, you can go, on a date and still look amazing.
Can you tell me someone that comes to mind where you was just excited and couldn't believe that you was actually doing this person's makeup? Do you have anybody that you can think of? I mean,
Okay, I can tell you this. So honestly, over the course of my, career in the beginning stages, my son, he's 17 now, when he was younger, I would be so scared to, you know, in the beginning stages of my business, so scared to approach people. And my son at like, I forgot how old he was like a kid, and he was like, Mom, just give people your business card. And it, yeah, what were we talking about? Did we get out? No, we're talking about. No, what's the question you just asked?
He was going to name somebody that you was excited about.
Oh, let me tell you who I was excited about. Literally, everybody was in my chair. Really? Seriously, because it was people like, matter of fact, Sheena Atwater, she's a photographer. She had a makeup artist. So, you know, I don't ever want to compete with anybody. But one day she sat in my chair. I prayed for her to sit in my chair. Every person that I've wanted in my chair has been in my chair. And they don't have to be like your local celebrity or anything like that. But it was something about people's energy, and I was like, I would love to do their makeup to show them what they could look like. Right. And then I know I love connecting with people. So the conversations I have with people, I've learned so much. And so yeah, Theresa Atwater, maybe a lot of professional women. A lot of Tasma Robertson, a lot of the ladies, Alberta Kane. I just did her makeup. But people who are a lot of powerful women. Okay. I don't know what it is. It's just something. And then they're not just powerful women. They're genuinely caring women. Yes, for sure. Yes.
I don't know if you guys can tell or if you can even see. I want you to take a look at this shirt that I'm wearing today. And it says girls can. Yes, we can. That's what we can. You know what? It's like a movement have started with women starting to find themselves, and they are flourishing out here in the world today. So, you know, I don't want this to look like an all-girls group, but this is for anybody that's inspiring to step outside of the box and do something big and extraordinary. I know you've heard it on many of my videos. But I want people to start getting moving, start tapping into your subconscious. Speak to your higher power, and you will be so surprised of what you were called here to do. I know a lot of you already know, but you're self-doubting or even sabotaging yourself. And this is what we're getting ready to get into now. How people can self-sabotage themselves. And there is a reason behind why you're doing what you're doing. And that's what we're getting ready to talk about now. So, like I said, we're getting ready to put a spin on it. Ms. Sheena, yes, I know that you have gotten to a point where you have kind of bagged and taken a step back. Yeah. Because I know you was doing wonderful when it comes to makeup. Because I hear all the noise in the street. Everybody loves you. Everybody loves you. They love you. The girl is bad. She's bad.
You know.
So with that being said, something has happened where you have had to take a step back and question yourself and your solitude. Yeah. Can you go into that story? Can you kind of open the doors up?
Yeah, absolutely.
What has distracted you?
Not being able to face childhood traumas for sure, which then in turn developed into me connecting with my personal own narcissist. Now I know that's a new term. Everybody's talking about narcissists and empaths. That's what's been going on here lately. I don't feel like this is a different time when people in the 70s and the 80s of Aquarius, everybody has an awakening period. Every generation does. In my business, I'm a server at heart, so I'm all about going above and beyond. But the thing is, in that moment, I was going above and beyond and never getting that same thing in return. Right. So I became exhausted, and it did not help with the relationship that I was in. Sorry, I've got flags. Won't be around our sandwiches and stuff. That's fine. We gonna eat our sandwiches.
That's right.
Don't touch it. But the thing is, when you go into a relationship, you can go into it with a positive mindset. Especially when me being 18, I went strictly from my father. Hey, how are y'all doing today? You're fine. I went strictly from we're at a coffee shop. Hey, we're in a coffee shop. Yeah. So I went strictly from my father to my ex-husband, and just taking the role of being a wife, having 4 children, doing virtual school, running a business. It was overwhelming, for sure. And in that moment, I felt like humanity and God had left me in that moment. And it was dark. It was a lot of dark nights. A lot of, I'm not saying it wasn't great mornings, because I know joy comes in the morning, and but it was a lot of nights that I felt like, moments I felt like I could make it through. And I did not, I felt like it was unfair because I love my business so much and I love my clients so much. I felt like it would be a disservice to my clients to be their makeup artist if I wasn't fully myself. So they could feel that. They could, I mean, I've had people, been around people, I'm pretty sure everybody does this, maybe not. Well, we're going to say empathetic people do this. We feel the emotions of others.
Yes.
We don't just, it's like, oh, I feel bad for you. No, we really feel it as if it was us. And so, if I know I'm not my 100%, I know that a person could tell.
Okay.
And people have told me that. Here now that I'm on the other side of it, people have said, Sheena, we knew you weren't happy. And that's why I blocked everybody off of social media. I got off social media for a while. I pushed away all of my closest friends and family. And they were nervous of what was going on, and I was angry. I was like, no, I knew you guys were going to see what I was covering up. So,
You know what? Being an empath. That's the term that I've learned through studying. Being an empath means that you connect to people in a total different way. You're able to feel energy. A lot of people don't realize that, when you finally make it to your home, your safe place, you feel mentally drained. You feel like someone has taken something from you and did not pour back into you. And that causes you to have a lot of alone time. When you are an empath, these are some of the things that you go through in life when you're not conscious about your spiritual healing, or when you really don't know a whole lot about the spiritual world. A lot of people don't realize is we are more than one person, we're two. You have a flesh and you have a spiritual side. And so many times as we are growing, we always give into the flesh. And your spiritual side is a little bit, I don't know if I'm using the correct term, but depleted. It's depleted. It don't have any energy, and it wants to be dealt with. So when you find yourself getting to a place where things just is not working anymore. Ms. Sheena, you had just finished pointing out a little while ago that we are in the age of Aquarius. I don't know if a lot of people even know that. And what that means is tapping into your spiritual side.
Your higher self. And we're gonna talk about this because I want to be able to connect with different people. So we saying spiritual side, we're talking about your higher self.
Your higher
self. Talking about your conscious self. The awareness that you have, the full awareness that you have. That's what we're referring to. Your flesh is your lower self, the where you're vibrating on lower vibrations and stuff like that. We talked about stuff like that. It's, to be honest, your lower self is your animalistic side.
It is.
It's your surviving side.
Your surviving side. And I don't think a lot of people even know that. When you're dealing with somebody and you find them to be malicious, let's say that you're a giving person and you have somebody that's just taking. That's their animal side that's coming out. You're at that point dealing with somebody that is in survival mode. What that means is there's absolutely nothing that they will not do in order to get fed. And how do they get fed? Off of what? Your energy. That's why you're depleted. So I hope we're dropping some nuggets on some people who are not in any understanding of what we're talking about. But hopefully we're shedding a little bit of light on you to help you become conscious. Start to research and study some of the things that we're talking about.
It's not hard. Like, there's so many things out there. You can look on YouTube if you're not a reader. There's things about narcissists and empaths. And I'm going to tell you that God and spirit, or however you look at it, works, and it's always has their hand in the situation, because who brought the narcissist empath aspect to me was the person who was abusing me. And even though he was using it to make himself look like he was highly intelligent and more aware and getting more in tune, as such as I wasn't. Well, God said, I'm going to use that. She now discovered who she is and discovered who you are. And if a lot of people knew what narcissistic traits were, they would make plans to remove themselves and cover their peace.
Peace is more important than anything. I will always tell people, do not take away my peace. I absolutely will not allow you to do that. It is so far that I will allow a person to go. That's why it's important for you to establish boundaries.
Healthy boundaries.
Healthy boundaries. Because when you have healthy boundaries, it's only so far a person can go with you. Think about it. If you have gotten to a point where no one is really coming around you anymore, and you have put some boundaries in place, what does that mean? They can't play with you anymore. People know who they can play with and who they just absolutely cannot. So when you find yourself no longer available for people anymore, they are aware of your boundaries and they're just not going to go there because guess what? They're not fun anymore. They can't take from you anymore. So that is something.
And they're going to
that
criticize you. They're going to criticize you for changing. But they're going to say, well, you think you're this and you think you're that. Well, like, we're supposed to change. It's all about the only consistent thing in life is change. So,
I tell you what, I heard something on TikTok. Look, everybody, I love to look at TikTok.
She sends me amazing
They
videos.
got so many good ideas, but it was this one guy that was on there talking, and he was like, so you're wondering why, I don't come around you anymore, or you're telling me that I need to lower my standards? Why? So you can keep on playing with me? You're angry because you can no longer dictate my life? And he even goes as far as saying, go ahead on, because I'm at peace with myself and I'm good by myself. So you can no longer play with me. So that's one thing that a lot of people are not even aware of. You don't have to have a whole lot of people around you to enjoy life.
You really don't.
Once you get secure with yourself, because that's who you're supposed to have your first relationship.
You bring yourself enough joy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we've been using the terminology narcissist. Narcissist is someone that's working in their lower vibration. There are steps that was missed in their childhood. That's the clinical term, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not pretending to be, but this is what I have researched. And a lot of times people have missed steps that they need in order for them to become an adult later on in life.
Valuable steps that their parents or their guardians or somebody in their life, I'm not going to talk about anybody, but somebody that was, I guess, I'm sorry, this is why I love my hair, was ill-equipped to, pass on those lessons that you need to survive and thrive. Not only survive, thrive as an adult.
Exactly. And I know that a lot of times you can tell because when you run into someone that's very narcissistic, a lot of things that they say and do don't make sense. It's almost like something is missing. That's the only thing that I can think
And they
of.
mirror you too.
They mirror
like a lot of
you.
people don't even realize narcissists have watched you.
Yeah.
They have. You don't think anybody watching you? They watching you, girl. And dude, they watching you. You fabulous. Why? Your life is watching. They watching you. It's like a moth to a flame. You're the flame and they're the moth. Well, they're gonna mirror everything you do. They're gonna do everything. Oh, I like that too. I like pizza too. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
Exactly.
But that's what you want.
Exactly. So that's how you're able to tell that you are in the line of danger when you come into contact with them. But this is one thing that I did not even realize, and through some of my studies, this is something that kind of touched me.
Okay.
A lot of times when you find yourself running into a narcissist, it's something about you that's even attracting those kind of people that you have to consciously work on.
It's all about letting go.
It's a weakness.
You always are gonna, every time you think you're at where you're supposed to be at, there's still something that's telling you to let it go.
To let it go. It's ongoing. That means it's God's way of letting you know it is time for you to evaluate yourself. It's time for evaluation. And there are some things that you now have to deal with about yourself to be stronger in order for you to go to the next level.
Things that you buried, things that you thought that you were over.
Exactly.
The thing is, I know some people are scared to go down that path because they feel like they have to re-experience what the trauma that they went through. I kind of do it, and for me, I call it shadow work, where I will go through a museum, and that's how it is in my mind. I'll go to a museum and see all the events of my life, go to them and write notes and stuff like that, mentally, literally do that and imagine it. And then I find clarity. I revisit it, I touch base on it, and I'm able to let it go and heal.
Right. So a lot of times when you find yourself being in relationships and you may be giving your all to someone that is not taking it,
Right.
they kind of leave it on the table. What is trauma? Not trauma bond. That's not the word that I want to use. But when they leave it on the table, when they don't take it,
Don't take the niceness. You talking about the
exactly.
love?
They just kind of leave it there.
That's kind of low key. They self-sabotaging themselves.
Self-sabotage.
They don't feel like they're deserving of that because they're so used to
Exactly.
the other thing.
There's one thing that I want to pull up, and this is for some of you women or men when you're in a relationship with a narcissist. And these are things that I didn't even know that.
Dude, I read this, I was
needed
like,
to know. It was crazy.
I read that, I was like, why? That it makes no sense. Because,
It
you
makes
know,
no sense.
you thinking growing up, well, when she reads it, then we're going to talk about it more, but go ahead.
Exactly. Here are some of the things that it says when you're dealing with someone that's narcissistic.
I know we're talking about men, but this goes both ways. It's just what she looked up, so I don't want anybody to get me like, oh, they like women, men bashing. This
Exactly. One thing that it points out is when you find a man or a woman that is a cheater within the relationship, it says because he or she loves you, they will cheat. It says he or she does everything for you. When somebody's even doing something nice for you,
You don't think it's real?
yeah, you think somebody's going to stay there? No, they won't. They will still cheat on you. The next thing is she is loyal to him or he is loyal to her. They will cheat. She or he trusted him. He used her for some reason. She was always there when he needed her. She let him have female friends. That was a new one for me. And she never lied to him.
Now, in turn, that sounds like a perfect woman. That sounds like a perfect woman. Most men want female friends, and then she don't lie, she cook and clean, and she motivates and inspires you. But in our world, because it is a lot of corrupt stuff going on in the world, it's hard for those individuals that they've been through unhealed trauma. We're gonna make it. That's what it is. It's what it is. I don't care if y'all don't want to face it, but you got unhealed trauma.
Yeah.
And you need to heal it. And until then, you're going to keep treating people like how you've been treated your whole life. You're not going to be able to accept. It's almost like a caged animal. And once they get out, after they've been mistreated, they don't trust anybody. They nipping and biting at everybody. Not realizing that that person is trying to embrace them, uplift them, love them.
Exactly.
And then so you're, in turn, blocking your blessings when you do that.
Exactly.
Because you prayed for some peace, and then God brought you the peace, the Spirit brought you the peace, and then now you're sitting there like,
but you wasn't
I don't know what to do with it. You're not ready.
They didn't realize that some things are going to open up.
I was talking about that. If you're not ready,
Well, you're not ready. Because there's levels out here. There are levels out here that people don't understand. You're praying and asking God to bring something to you. Do you think that He's not going to show you your wounds before you can receive that blessing? You have to go through the fire because He is not going to allow any of His people that have done the work to get hurt. He's just not going to do it. So, if that is something that you want, you have to be prepared mentally, physically, and emotionally in order to be able to handle that type of blessing that you're asking for. And now here's the thing, here's the kicker. If you're not ready to do the work, I wouldn't advise you to ask for it. Because you have to do the work for anything that you ask for.
Now, you want to elaborate on work? Because I know sometimes people, I was just talking to my cousin about this yesterday, and it was the that phrase when they say faith without works. It says works with an S. Some people think like that means physical work.
Right.
My opinion is that it means effort and intention.
Effort and intention.
Works, that's why they didn't say work with just the W-O-R-K. They said works because that's just that term in that period of time that relates to effort and intention. Having faith and not having the purest intention, and focus and effort to what you want. I mean, an effort could be you getting up out of the bed. Your effort could be putting on something nice. Your effort is different from somebody else's effort, and the only people that's going to stop you from doing anything is other people's opinions. And then it goes into your mind, and then when you're quiet, that idle time, that's the, well, I don't like to say that, but it's just what it is. It's the adversary's playground. Because I know everybody, says the devil's certain different whatever. But we're going to say the adversary's playground. That's what that is. to keep you down in your lower vibration so you never touch what's meant for you.
Right.
Until you're ready.
Exactly. Until you're ready. So tell me, you have been doing all of this self-healing.
Yes.
And I know it has been a long journey, but you are on the way to being healthy.
I feel like I'm on the other side of it for sure. In the midst of it, in the darkness of it, you can't see. And I'm telling you, you have to go through the darkness to appreciate the light.
Right.
You really do. When I went through it, the only thing that let me out of it, and I remember that term, it was like the movie Book of Eli, and in the movie, the man was blind.
Right.
He led that girl by faith. And that's the only way I got out of my darkness is by faith. Of course, you know, having counseling and stuff like that from other people, but in that moment of my darkness, I was blaming people, I was getting mad, I was like, how come no one's helping me the way I helped them? I was like, be patient. Because it's not going to happen like that. It's not going to happen the way you think it's going to happen. It's going to happen on my term, on my time. So it's like a kid that says, are we there yet?
Yeah.
Are we there yet?
Yeah.
Are we there yet? You be like, we got the ticket. Our bags are packed. We are not going to Disneyland.
Right.
Child, calm down. So that's how I kind of look at it like that. As much as I want something so bad, I have to trust God's timing.
Got to trust the timing. Everything has a time. It's a time and a place for everything. And when it is time for you to reach your success, that is a perfect time. And you will be ready. You don't have to worry about falling off of the stage. You're going to be ready to stand there. You're going to be ready to fight to stay there because you understand the life lessons that you had to learn in order to be in that position.
You got to be trained first.
You got to be ready. You got to be trained. Exactly. So, last but not least, what can we expect from you, Miss Theresa?
I don't know. Like, I'm really wanting to get back into makeup. I'm slowly but surely doing that. And I'm wanting to go full throttle with this. I want to do movies. I want to have my own makeup line. I want to do everything that I dreamed of doing beforehand. I was telling my little cousin what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I told her I wanted to be Michael Jackson. Now, I'm not going to be Michael Jackson because I can't sing it all this too, but this is what I'm going to do. What I see in Michael Jackson is his pure determination. Like, he goes hard in spite of where he came from. He goes hard, you know, even in his later years, still dancing and still going in the same way he did in his 20s and his teens. I'm like, if Michael can do it, coming out of Gary, Indiana, coming out of that abusive relationship, everything, it's his whole life.
Exactly.
Man, if he can do that, and that's why I love watching documentaries. I'm like, they can come out of that, I can too.
Right.
We can too. We all can, for real.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like, and the only thing that's beating you down is, for lack of a better term, because I know, like, if you grew up in like a Baptist church or Black Baptist church, you would know, or whatever, they were saying you're in the world. If you're out there. People think that's the messed up things. Well, no, it's a lot of the nice things that's covered wolves in sheep's clothing.
Exactly.
Bad advice covered with good, you know, decoration and stuff like that, and with a nice tone, a nice voice. It's still bad advice. God and the Most High, or however you look at spirit, wants us to focus on ourselves. Once we do that, we become more in line and more connected to God. It's just what it is.
That's just what it is. That is just what it is. So I hope everything that we're saying today touches someone to want to make some type of change because you are ready now to start living. Now. Right now is the time.
Present moment.
Exactly.
Present moment. Don't go in the past. Don't be future tripping. Worry about the present moment.
Worry about the present. So if you're dealing with any of the things that we just finished talking about, guess what? This was for you. We did this just for you. We had our aha moment, and we are so ready. Let me tell everybody, this is my spiritual friend right here. Me and her, day one when we met, it was as if we have known each other for a whole life.
Authenticity. I dealt in that. I love authenticity. When you can meet people that are truly genuine and they speak of it. Like when we talk, it's like we understand each other. We don't ever have to, because you know, if you talk with anybody, they should explain stuff or go over people's head. I can talk to her free flow. We'll go from one subject to the next.
Yeah.
We literally just met. For real. For real. I'm not joking. Y'all know me. I don't be.
For real.
Talk to everybody.
For real.
You know,
For real.
Y'all know them.
Kindle spirit.
Absolutely. Kindle spirit. Absolutely.
And we have had such a good time trying to get everything set up so we can bring this to you guys. And I am so happy we was able to. So we was working in sync. We was doing everything in sync. I didn't even have to say anything to her. She knew what to do. So that's when you know when God is bringing in your tribe. Because that's the way that you'll work. Everything goes hand in hand.
Man, I prayed for that too. I was like, God, I just want my tribe. I just want my people.
Yeah.
And everybody says that everybody wants their people, but you got to understand, God has to remove things first. The Most High, however you look at it, the source has to remove things first. And a lot of times, we're holding on to those things, and it's like, come on, let it go. Right. Well, you got to let it go once you let it go. All the things that you've learned over the course of years, and get back to the realness.
Yes.
Of what it is, of existence.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Well, everybody,
It's fun.
we just gave you all everything that we had.
Y'all do research, please. Research. It's not hard. Narcissism, empaths, spiritual awakening. It's not the heebie-jeebie stuff. So I don't know what y'all be getting all upset about that stuff for.
Exactly.
It's literally all the same thing. It's how you approach it. If you want to approach it with the darkness, well, that's what it is. Because people still approach Christianity with darkness.
Exactly.
But you have to go with a pure heart. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. No, you're good. You're good. You see, she owned it. She's owned it today. So as you all know, here at Big Sis isn't always so common. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as you all know, I can't wait to see you in your future.